Sorry. Again, good morning to all participants. Before we start, I'm going to brief a little bit about our eConference, the flow for our eConference for today. So the theme for today's conference is environmental communication. Will be start at 10:15 with opening ceremony and video presentation on environmental communication. And at 11:55 a.m., we will have a short break and a mini game organized by us uh, where we'll have a mini game, which is Kahoot. So you can download Kahoot apps on your phone or simply Google it later on your Google search engine. After that, we'll continue with life cycle assessment of products. There will be 7 videos of life cycle assessment, and then we will have Q&A session at 12:45 p.m. and photography session at 1 p.m. Soft reminder for all participants, please mute the microphone if not needed to avoid any disturbance. Please be noted that you need to fill in online form in order to claim your e-certificate. Link will be provided in the chat box from time to time. Please check the chat box later. Participants also required to stay until the end of the conference for photography session.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to all participants. Honorable Dr. Amir Hamzah Sharaai, Lecturer of Universiti Putra Malaysia, Faculty of Forestry and Environment, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Elisha Mintong, along with Ayu Nakibah will be your MC for today. It is our pleasure to be an MC for today's conference. We would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We really appreciate that you taking time of your busy schedules to join us today. We hope you will learn a lot today from our conference.
Soft reminder for all participants. Please mute your microphone if not needed to avoid any disturbance. Please be noted that you need to fill in online form in order to claim your e-certificate. Link will be provided in chat box. Participants also required to stay until the end of the conference for photography session. A mini game, which is Kahoot, will also be conducted during our short break. To begin the opening ceremony with the blessings, I would like to invite Mr. Abdullah Azam to lead the dua recitation and a moment of silence.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, we gather here today to express our gratitude for your invaluable blessing. Make us your servants who are always thankful on the blessing that you have bestowed upon us. Ya Fattah, Ya Alim. Indeed, you are the all-knowing, that you know that we are here to learn a little of your vast knowledge to grow our potential as your blessed servants. Hence, please grant us your blessing for this e-conference environmental communication today. Bestow upon us your endless knowledge. Ya Zal Jalani wal Ikram, grant us with healthy body, brilliant mind, peace in our souls, strength in our spirit, in the hope that we can face challenge, be competitive and able to raise the dignity of ourselves, families and organization. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
Abdullah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, today we have about 51 participants joining this conference to know more about environmental communication. Again, we would like to say thank you for your participation. We will start our conference with the first agenda, which is the environmental communication videos. There will be 4 videos representing each topics contained in environmental communication. The first part of the video is the introduction to environmental communication, followed by environmental communication policy as part 2 of the video. Part 3 will be a video on environmental communication strategy, and last video is environmental communication activities. Without further ado, let's start with the videos. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, today we're going to learn about ISO 14063 Environmental Communication. The first one, definition of environmental communication, is the process of sharing information to build trust, credibility, and partnership, to raise awareness and to use in decision making. The processes used and the content of environmental communication will vary with objectives and circumstances and should be built on substantive information. Next, history of environmental communication. The first one, it became essential due to increasing public concern and interest and governmental activities. Second, organizations increasingly confront with their needs, activities, products, and services. Third, growing need to listen to interested parties, incorporated their views and requirements. And fourth, organizations need to obtain and provide information such as environmental issues, concerns, and programs. Next, we'll move to motivation for communication. The first one, interest of the organization. Second, request for information. Third, need to discuss with interested parties. Fourth, environmental risk management. Fifth, regulatory requirement. Sixth, response to complaints from interested parties, and 7, increasing importance of addressing environmental issues. Next, we move to overview of environmental communication. The first one, environmental communication is broader than environmental reporting. Second, environmental communication can be ad hoc or planned. Next, we move to types of environmental communication. The first one-way communication. It occurs when organizations distribute information. Second, two-way communication. It occurs with an exchange of information and ideas among the organization and interested parties. And third, in participatory decision making. It effective feedback that affects the organizations and or the local community, and organizations collaborate with interested parties. Next, we move to benefits of environmental communication. The first one, assisting interested parties and providing inputs and suggestions. Second, improving understanding of interested parties' needs and concerns. Third, promoting an organization's environmental credential, achievements, and performance. Fourth, raising the level and importance of environmental awareness. Fifth, addressing the parties' concerns and complaints and enhancing interested parties' perceptions of the organization. And sixth, increasing business support and shareholder confidence. Next, we move to scopes of environmental communication. First one, provide guidance, principles, policy, strategy, and activities. Second, utilize proven and well-established approaches. And third, applicable to all organizations. Fourth, not intended to be used as specification standard. Fifth, increasing business support and shareholder confidence. And sixth, can be used on its own or with combination with any ISO 14000 series of standards. Next, we move to terms and definition. The first one, environmental communication, is the process conducted to obtain information, to engage in dialogue with internal or external interested parties, to encourage a shared understanding of environmental issues, aspects, and performance. Next, environmental communication policy is the overall intentions and directions of the organization related to its environmental communication that are formally expressed by top management. Next, environmental communication strategy is the organization's framework to implement environmental communication policy, including the setting of its target and objective. Next, organization is the company, corporation, firm, enterprise, institution, a part or combination, public or private, that has its own functions and administration. Next, interested parties is a group or person that concerned with or affected by the environmental performance of an organization. Next, target group is the interested party or parties selected as the focus of an organization's environmental communication activity. Next, environmental communication objectives is the overall environmental communication goal consistent with the environmental communication policy that organization set itself to achieve this strategy. Next, environmental Environmental Communication Target is the detailed performance requirement applicable to organizations, arises from environmental communication objectives, and need to be set and met in order to achieve those objectives. Next, we move to the principles of environmental communication. There are 5 principles. The first one, transparent, is to make the processes, procedures, methods, and data sources, also assumptions used in environmental communication, available to all interested parties, taking account of the confidential of an information as required. Second, appropriateness is to make information provided in environmental communication relevant to interested parties using format, language, and media that meet their interests and needs, enabling them to participate fully. Third, credibility is to conduct environmental communication in an honest and fair manner and provide information that is truthful, accurate, substantive, and not misleading to interested parties. Develop information and data using recognized and reproducible methods and indicators. Next, responsiveness. Ensure that environmental communication is open to the needs of interested parties. Response to the queries and concerns of interested parties in a full and timely manner. Make interested parties aware of how their queries and concerns have been addressed. Last, clarity. Ensure the environmental communication approaches and language are understandable to interested parties to minimize the ambiguity.
Hello everyone, I am Ali. Before we end this video, let's recall back our lesson today with a few questions. So let's start for our first question. Why environmental communication was developed? It is to increasing of public concern and interest and government activities, growing in it, to listen to interested parties, incorporated their views and requirements. Second, what are the 3 types of communication? First, one-way communication. Second, two-way communication. And third, in participatory decision making. Okay, third, what are the benefits of environmental communication? First, is to assisting provide inputs and suggestions for interested parties. Second, improve understanding of interested parties' needs and concerns. Third, promote organizations' environmental credential, achievement, and performance. Fourth, increase level of environmental awareness. Fifth, address the parties' concerns and complaints, improve interested parties' section of organization. And lastly, rising businesses support and shareholder confidence. Okay, I think that's all for our lesson today. Thank you everyone. Remember, I am your partner, Ali.
Thank you for your time. That's all from our group.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Ali. Before we start this video, let's recall back what before this. So, in last video, we learned about environmental communication. So, generally, communication is a process of sharing information to gain trust, partnership, and to raise awareness in decision making. Communication also has three types, which is one-way, two-way, and in participatory decision making. And lastly, communication also has 7 motivations. Are you aware of that? If you forget or you are not watching the video yet, please visit this website and go to this video. Feel free to like, share, and comment too. Thank you everyone. Please enjoy the video.
Today, under ISO 14063, we will talk about environmental communication policy. Anything else, we must know the definition of environmental communication policy. What is environmental communication policy? Environmental communication policy is an overall intention and directions of an organization related to its environmental communication, formally expressed by top management. And this policy can be a separate policy or part of other policies within the organization. Next, we will talk about management commitment regarding environmental communication policy. It is the organization's top management role to set, express its commitment to, and promote the environmental communication policy that are consistent with the principles in Clause 3 and should clearly state these 5 things. First, their commitment to engage in dialogue with interested parties. Second, their commitment to disclose information about its environmental performance. Third, the significance of an internal and external environmental communication in the organization. Fourth, the commitment to implement the policy and provide the necessary resources. Lastly is the commitment to address key environmental issues. Before developing policy, there are few things that the organization needs to take into account. First, they should interact and engage with people who are responsible for communication to make sure that the policy is coherent and consistent with other principles, policies, and organization values. Next, they should convey to interested parties the organization importance on communicating about environmental issues, environmental aspects, and the impacts and environmental performance. All levels of management are also responsible for the implementation of policy and provide input to formulate and modify the policy. Lastly, the fundamental role of policy should be based on organization vision, mission, value, and culture to reflect local, regional, and or national cultural characteristics where it's applicable. While in process of developing the policy, there are few factors that needs to be considered to reduce or prevent any crisis from the policy. Factors that should be considered to develop the policy are the organization business sector and its product or service portfolio, the organization size, the organizational infrastructure, corporate governance, market and brand strategies, the existence of an environmental management system, consideration of environmental aspects and impacts, interaction with related aspects like health and safety and other sustainability approach, expectation of interested party, and finally, the public right to know. And now that we know what is environmental communication policy, it is time for quiz. Are you ready? Who made the environmental communication policy? The organization or the government? It is the organization. Before developing the policy, organizations should consider this, except organization size, lastly, which of the following are not the factors that should be considered in developing the policy? The public's right to know, the organization infrastructure, or cooperative governance? The answer is none of the above. That is all from us. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye!
See you again. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with the third and last part of the videos.
Hello everyone, welcome to the part 3 of ISO 14063 Environmental Communication. Today we will talk about environmental communication strategy. Before we start, let's recap what we have learned in the part 2 video of environmental communication. We learned about the definition of environmental communication policy, which is an overall intention and directions of an organization related to its environmental communication as formally expressed by the top management. Next, we also learned about how to develop the policy. There are 4 ways to develop the policies. And we also learned about the factors that need to be considered in making the policy. There are 10 factors. Now, let's move to the main topic of video today, which is environmental communication strategy. There are a few general considerations under the environmental communication strategy. The first one, organization should develop strategy to implement the environmental communication policy. Second, where the strategy includes environmental communication objectives, identification of interested parties, indication of what when it was planned to communicate, and management communication for allocations of funds. Third, the strategy also should be aligned with other elements of management systems, policies, strategies, or relevant activities. And fourth, the strategy should be approved by the top management and then used as the basis for the organization's environmental communication strategies. Next, we move to the questions should be considered in developing the environmental communication strategy. There are a few questions that we should ask before developing the environmental communication strategy are: the first one, why is the organization engaging in environmental communication and what are its purposes? Second, what are the organization's key environmental issues and impact? Third, What are the main issues to be covered, messages to be conveyed, and communication techniques, approaches, tools, and channels to be used? Fourth, how much time is needed to implement the strategy? Fifth, how will the strategy involve and coordinate the environmental managers, interested parties, individuals responsible for environmental issues, and individuals who are responsible for the organization's internal and external communications? And last, what are the local, regional, national, and international boundaries for these strategies? Next, we move to the establishment of environmental communication strategy. The first one, environmental objectives must be set first because it is useful to provide the basis for an effective environmental communication strategy. Second, an organization also should ensure it aligns with its environmental communication policy, the views of internal and external interested parties, and consistent with the environmental communications in Clause 3. And third, on setting objectives for its environmental communication activities, priorities and desired results should be considered, this to make sure that the objectives needs no further explanations that is necessary. There are also priorities that should be considered in setting objectives that includes the first one, and the environmental issues related to the organization's specific activities, products, and services. Second, complying with applicable legal requirements and with other requirements which the organization subscribes. Third, influencing public policies on the environmental issues. Fourth, providing information and encouraging understanding to interested parties about the environmental activities. Fifth, the aspect, impacts, and performance of the organizations. The others priority to be considered are meeting the environmental information expectations of the interested parties, establishing ongoing dialogue on environmental matters, minimizing internal and or external conflicts, improvement on the organization's credibility and reputations, improving public knowledge and environmental image of the organization's products and services, and the last one, stimulating environmental innovations and creativity. Next, we move to the identifying interested parties. We should identify the interested parties. The first interested parties is the internal and external interested parties who have expressed an interest in its activities, products, and services. Second is the interested parties with whom it wishes to communicate to achieve the overall objectives of its environmental communication strategy. Lastly, the target group will be identified for more specific environmental communications activities. Next, we move to the examples of interested parties. A few examples of interested parties are: first, customer and consumers; next, legislators; third, suppliers, contractors, distributors; fourth, non-governmental organizations, NGOs; fifth, professionals involved in environmental issues; next, competitors; and the last one, shareholders. Next, we move on to the last slide, considering resources issues. An environmental communication strategy should consider resources issues that an organization's environmental communication activities are dependent upon available resources. Next, the environmental communication strategy should include an allocation of human, technical, and financial resources, designated responsibilities and authority, and defined actions. Next, employees' experience and trainings needs to be considered. Now, let's move on to the quiz time. Are you guys ready? The first question: what should be considered in developing the environmental communication strategy? The first one, time needed to implement the strategy. Second, the organization engaging in environmental communication. Third, the organization's key environmental issues and impact. So, the answer is all of the above. Next, we'll move to the second questions. There are a few examples of interested parties mentioned before, except the first one, customer and consumer. Next, suppliers and contractors. Next, non-governmental organizations, NGOs. Next, top management. Yes, the answer is top management. The third question, in establishing environmental communication objectives, an organization should set an environmental objectives, make sure it was aligned with the environmental communication policy, consider priority and desired results. The answer is 1, 2, and 3. Yes, that's right. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, welcome to the last part of environmental communication. Today, we will talk about our last topic, which is environmental communication activities. There are few topics that we will talk about, which are planning an environmental communication activity, selecting its content, approaches and tools, performing an environmental communication activity, evaluating environmental communication, and conducting management review and planning revision. Is planning an environmental communication activity. Usually, organizations will take a range of environmental communication activities to implement their environmental communication policy. So, specific environmental communication activity should be developed by considering the environmental issue, geographic boundaries, and interested parties. Next, a situational analysis must be done to identify issues, and organizations must consider which are the existing environmental communication activities and commitments, identify and understand issues concerned to interested parties, the expectation and perception of the interested parties about the organization, the environmental awareness of interested parties, finding the most effective proven communication media and activities in communicating with interested parties in similar situations, identify the leaders' opinion and their influence on issues related to environmental communication, public image of the organization on a specific issue, the latest in development and trends on environmental issues, economic and financial implication, and finally, knowledge and understanding of the values and culture of interested parties. It is also important to consider the potential costs and consequences of not communicating, which cost more than environmental communication in the long run and also impose other costs on an organization, like damaged organization reputation. Next, under planning an environmental communication activity is setting environmental communication targets. Under this, the organization must decide what needs to be achieved in environmental communication activity. Be consistent with the objectives that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-related. Evaluate the activity implemented, whether the target meets or not. The objective of doing this is to improve environmental performance across the supply chains by communicating organizational goals like reaching 85% of raw materials suppliers and 65% of suppliers of consumption items. Track how supply chains improve environmental performance through questionnaire returned from 100% of raw material suppliers and 85% of suppliers of consumption items. For example, share the improvement information by provide conclusions to allow change in procurement procedures by given that. Next, will be identifying target groups where identification is among its interested party. And from here, different and often confliction demands from target needs to be addressed and responded to. Next, under the same topic, will be defining geographic scope. What should be defined is the areas or location on which it will focus its environmental communication activities. Different languages, culture, and habits may affect public needs and perception about the organization. Involvement in addressing a specific environmental issues on more than one geographic scale. Identifying environmental information is the last under the same topic of planning environmental communication activity. Under here, the organization should anticipate environmental issues of concern to interested parties, be based on the targets, appropriate quantitative and qualitative data, and information can be selected or generated. Prepare written materials or other types of communication in a form that is clear and appropriate for the relevant target groups. Other than that are information and strategies and their environmental implication, environmental policies, management practices and performance measured, environmental management system, list of environmental aspects and impacts of activities, products and services, data and other documentation used for environmental labels and declaration, and lastly is life cycle assessment of products and activities. We will now talk about the next topic, which is selecting environmental communication content, approaches, and tools. Under this topic, organizations should adjust the information based on initial planning and target groups. So the information should be behavioral aspects and the social, cultural, educational, economic, and political interests of target groups. Use appropriate language, make use of visual image or electronic media where appropriate. Be consistent with the selected approach and, where relevant, with other information on environmental issues. The communication approaches and tools are divided into three: written communication approaches and tools, verbal communication approaches and tools, and other communication approaches and tools. These are the examples of approaches and tools. For written communication approaches and tools, we have letters, printed materials like brochures and others. In here, we have verbal and other communication approaches like public meeting, workshops, open houses, surveys, and others. In this slide, for example, the communication approaches and tools are through cooperative projects, sustainability agreement, and even an art exhibition can become one of the approaches of environmental communication. Under the same topic, responsibility and involvement, internal and external, are defined. This means that to be involved in the environmental communication processes, to become familiar with the environmental impacts of their strategies, planning, and others, as well as the requirement of the interested parties. Taking a leading role in promoting an internal environmental that stimulates and acknowledges those who are actively involved with environmental communication. Encourage regular communication to all employees on the initiatives and results of environmental communication. Next, under the same topic of tracking inputs from interested parties. This is done to recall the history of specific interested party communication, inquiries, or concerns, to understand the nature of various interested party engagement over time, to improve the organization's effectiveness in developing future communication and addressing the concerns of specific interested parties as needed. The second last part of this topic is planning for environmental communication activities on environmental crisis and emergency. This is done to make sure that the affected communities informed about measures taken and exposure risks. Residents and workers' health problems be reduced, impact on the environment is reduced or avoided. Authorities are kept informed. Such planning too can greatly reduce the consequences of undesired events on organizations. The last part of the topic of selecting environmental communication content, approaches, and tools is collecting the evaluating data. In here, material used in environmental communication should be documented so that it can be organized, maintained, and available for those interested in the information. The document management system should be able to provide fast access to information, especially in response to environmental crisis and emergency. Evaluating of the data should include checks for accuracy, consistency, reliability, and applicability. Now, on to our next topic, which is conducting environmental communication activity. When communicating with target group, an organization should design those working for the organization or on its behalf to serve as spokespeople and media sources. Provide spokespeople with speaker or media training before they undertake communication role. Consider whether to use an independent third party or consultant to produce information that will be provided. Actively promote and respond to input and feedback. Try to provide advance notice of publication for review and consideration by interested parties, ensure that the timing of the communication is appropriate for its internal business cycles, external events, interested parties' availability and interest. Consider whether to use the facilitator or mediator. Avoid jargon, overly technical, and inconsistent information. Next, under the same topic is recording the responding to feedback. When the communication has succeeded, there is still a need for the organization to obtain feedback from the different target groups and respond to show understanding, interest, and consideration of their view. If an organization communication activities have failed in any of these respects, a quick reaction is necessary. A failure in this may be remedied by providing clearer information through more direct access and discussion. In here, we will go to our second last topic, which is evaluating environmental communication, where the activities will be evaluated based on its environmental communication policy, how principles of environmental communication applied, whether its objectives and targets achieved, the quality and appropriateness of the information provided to target groups and the activity, the way in which the communication was conducted, the responses of interested parties, whether the communication program gives effective and meaningful dialogue with the target groups, transparency of procedures and approach, whether the environmental communication address the needs of the target groups, whether target groups know that they were heard and were made aware of how their input is used, and finally the target group's understandings of the purpose and content of the environmental communication. Finally, we will wrap up with our last topic of environmental communication activity, which is conducting management review and planning revisions. Under this, assessing opportunities for improvement and the need for changes to the environmental communication should be reviewed, including the policy, strategy, and activities. In this too, the adequacy of resources provided for the environmental communication is assessed. The data collection process is then assessed. Lastly, the improvements necessary to the information provided to interested parties versus the communication process is distinguished. References. Now, let's revise. So, what are the two types of communication approaches and tools required in environmental communication activities? Do you get it yet? The answer is written and verbal communication approach and tools. Thank you for taking the time to learn about environmental communication.
As we can see, environmental communication is necessary for the survival of every living system, be it an organism, an ecosystem, or even a social system. I hope that all of you can gain more knowledge from the videos, as it is important in decision making for our society when it comes to the environment. Before we continue Before we continue with our second session of the conference, we will have a short break. Meanwhile, let's refresh up a little bit with a mini game prepared by us, which is Kahoot quiz that will be conducted by Muhammad Azif Hazim.
Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. I am Azib Hazim. So in this short break, we will play Kahoot games and this will be a short Kahoot games, and for your information, we also prepare a gift for this Kahoot games winner. So for those that already familiar with this Kahoot or have Kahoot in their phone, you may open it right now. And for those who doesn't have this Kahoot, you may Google in your web browser Kahoot and join with us too. So please join, if you already open the Kahoot, please join by using this PIN number, and please put your proper name and not your nickname. Thank you so much everyone.
Let's join everyone. We have prepared special gift for the winner.
So I will wait for about 2 minutes for everyone to join.
Don't miss the chance to win the present.
Yeah, we prepare a special gift for the winner, for only one winner. So let's join the Kahoot game. It's just a short game. I will confirm just a very short Kahoot game. Okay, right now we have 7 participants right now. I will wait for more.
Don't miss the chance. Let's go.
Right. Yes, right now we have 17 participants. Liana, Aswacia, Bunga, Syahiran, Shu, Mia, Afika, Su, Mani, Aryani, Syahidi, Nya, Akila, Saradini, Shafira. And also we have a newcomer, Nisa. So I will wait.
Come on guys, there's still time to join.
There's only 20 right now. Oh, there's more. Yeah, there's more. That's what I like. Yeah, come on guys, come on guys. Come on, can we hit 30? Oh, 25 there. Okay, so I think we will start the Kahoot right now. So for those who late, I'm sorry, doesn't have to get chance to win, the prize is a very good prize. Okay, so we will start the game right now. Can we? Okay, let's restart. For the first question, why environmental communication was developed? Maybe it's blue,
Yeah.
yellow,
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know. Maybe it's red. Wow. Okay, congratulations to the 17 participants that get it right. Okay, let's be headed to the next question. Let me see. Wow, Christina is dominating,
Wow.
followed by Shahira and Shafira Des. So, okay, let's go to the next question. Second question. What are the 3 types of communication? Easy question, but beware of the traps. Wow, they are so fast. There's a very genius around us and focus on the conference. Oh, still 17 participants, not all everyone correct, but it's good. So let me see. How about the Shafira? Thanks and congratulations already dominating the first place. And Christina, try again. Next question. Who made environmental communication policy? I think this is a quite hard actually. I think it's yellow, I think. But I also think it's blue. I don't know. Like everything is correct.
Maybe green.
Wow. Okay, the answer is organization. So let's see. Shafira is still in the first place. Congratulations. Okay, so let's see if Shafira can hold your position in the next question. What are the benefits of environmental communication? Is it make the environment clean? Or is it people can throw rubbish easily? Or increase level of environmental awareness? Wow, okay, this is the most right question. Increase level of environmental awareness. Okay, let me see. Shafira cannot unstoppable. Shafira is unstoppable, and followed by Shahira. I think it's not far away. Let's see. For the last question, what is environmental communication policy? I think this is the hardest one. For the last question. See, I already said that this is the hardest question, as we just only have 7 that can answer this right, which is intention and direction of organization related to environment communicate. So let's see if Shafira win this environmental communication ISO 40003. For the number 3, Shafira, and for the number 2, Mia, and for the first winner, the winner is Ika. How is that happen? Shafira donating in the first place for all 3 questions, and then yet they're number 3. So okay, everyone. So congratulations to Ika. So Ika will get the
Congratulations,
prize.
Ika. So to the winner, please leave your details in the chat box. Your name, including your number phone, so that we can contact you later to deliver your presents. Thank you so much for participating in our mini game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us until now. Next, we will move on to our second agenda, which is life cycle assessment of products. Life cycle assessment is one of many ways for environmental communications. The society will be more aware and knowledgeable about certain product and affecting their decision making before buying or using a product. There are 7 videos for the life cycle assessment of products that will be presented today. We will start our first video with a life cycle assessment of a smartphone produced by Hanania Mirza.
Hello everyone! You can obtain several information about smartphone life cycle in this video. So let's start our journey if you want to learn more about your smartphone. Before we start, do you know anything about a smartphone? There are 3.2 billion smartphone users in this world until 2019. The average time that will spent by a user on their smartphone is 2.55 hours per day. 3 million applications are available for a smartphone user, and 90% of user time are spent on the application. Also, 74% user of smartphone spending their time and money on the mobile game application. Besides with calling and messaging people, what you can do with your smartphone? First, you can do online shopping, doing e-wallet transaction, or cashless payment such as paying bills, food, or etc. Number 2, with mobile network and internet connection, you can search or gain information from search engine, doing online mapping, communication with others, and scrolling your social media. Number 3, our smartphone had built up with high-tech camera where we can take beautiful picture and video with camera. Besides, we can also use editing application from the application store to edit our video and pictures. Number 4, we can do or join live streaming everywhere, watching videos and movies, and also playing mobile games. Before we jump into smartphone life cycle, let's learn about smartphone evolution. In 2003, 3G mobile data revolution has been started and allow people to use internet. Touchscreen smartphone has been developed in 2007 along with application and Google Store. In the year of 2009, the first smartphone with wireless charging has been developed by Samsung company. But in the year 2010, Apple company has also developed their own tablet called iPad together with Siri function and fingerprint scanner. The year of 2012 has marked the new era with 4G network and waterproof phone development. Dual camera and 4K HDR resolution display has been developed in 2014. In 2016, face recognition technologies and online payment has been started. And in 2019 until today, 5G network with superior data speed has been developed. We are now at our main topic, smartphone life cycle assessment. we will learn about smartphone life cycle assessment from cradle to grave. It starts from raw material acquisition to production phase, and then into the distribution and transportation phase, and usage phase, and lastly, the end of life phase. In the raw material acquisition phase, gold, silver, copper, tin, tungsten, silicon, indium, gallium, arsenic, boron, phosphorus, antimony, cobalt, terbium, yttrium, gadolinium, europium, neodymium, praseodymium will be extracted from earth for manufacturing and production of smartphone. Next, in production phase, all production are include integrated circuit production, part production, display production, product assembly, and product packaging. All of the production process and distribution activities are using energy, water, and fuels. We will now move to distribution and transportation phase. Smartphone distribution to worldwide need to use airplane, truck, train, ship, and van as transportation, and all of the transportation methods require the usage of fossil fuels. The next phase for smartphone lifecycle assessment is usage phase. Smartphone users are assumed to use their phone for average 2 to 3 years. The usage of smartphone will associate with mobile network, wireless network, and applications such as mobile gaming, chatting application, video streaming, and etc. The last phase of smartphone lifecycle assessment is end of life phase. The end of life for smartphone in recycle center, the discarded smartphone that still can work properly will be collected by organization or collection points. The smartphone that cannot reuse are separated properly to salvage the part that still work and can be reused and recycled by others. If the smartphone is dumped into landfill, people still don't know the importance of a good disposal of a smartphone. The devices that ending up in trash and sanitary landfill can potentially cause environmental problems. Smartphones should be discarded properly under e-waste category. From the smartphone life cycle, we can assess the impact of smartphone on the environment. In the raw material acquisition phase, it takes a lot of acid and other toxic chemicals to extract the material from their environment and isolate just 1% or less for production. The 99% left is dumped into the nature, and by doing that over and over again, our smartphone contributes to a systematic increase in concentration of substances produced by society. Mining process to extract the material can cause erosion, sinkholes, loss of biodiversity, and contamination of surface and groundwater. In a production phase, smartphone can cause global warming potential. 80% of global warming potential come from production phase, 10% from transportation phase, and another 10% from other phases. 2 over 3 of production activities that can cause global warming potential have come from IC production, and 1 over 3 are from other production. Production activities has bigger global warming potential because the usage of electricity in production. The electricity used for production activities are actually consuming fossil fuel. Fossil fuel consumption are also used in transportation phase. That is why transportation contribute 10% to global warming potential. In global warming potential, usage phase actually contributes smallest impact. The global warming potential for average of 3 years smartphone usage and battery charging for every 2 days will produce 57 kg of carbon dioxide equivalent. So the total for each year are 19 kg of carbon dioxide equivalent. But the network usage for mobile data and Wi-Fi will increase the total per year which is 62 kg of carbon dioxide equivalent. The usage of network has increasing the global warming potential. Next, we will see the other environmental impact from smartphone materials. Cadmium is dangerous if inhaled or ingested. Some cases of inhaling will lead to metal fume fever, and this could result in death. Lead. Lead is dangerous to animals and human nervous system and causes brain disorder. Beryllium can cause hazards, include toxic poisoning, tissue corrosion of plants, and cause a life-threatening disease called berylliosis. Coltan causes mass erosion of the land, bringing pollution to lakes and rivers. It can affect human life. Mercury. Mercury poisoning can result in several diseases, including acrodynia, Hunter-Russell syndrome, and Minamata disease. So after we have learned about the smartphone impact on environment, now we need to know how to minimize the smartphone impact to the environment. First, material to produce the smartphone will have to be kept in technical loop so they don't build up in nature. Or the material will have to produce with energy that does not involve in extraction and combustion of fossil fuel at any point smartphone life cycle. Second, slowing down the extraction process and cleaning all the toxic material can help the nature regenerate and clean itself and avoid the accumulation of man-made chemicals. Third, to avoid disturbing the ecosystem completely, we need to make sure the mining places are kept clean, uncontaminated, and restored after the element extract. Number 4. Apple company has developed Daisy, which is disassembling robot for iPhone, was designed to collect and recycle tin, gold, tungsten, and tantalum element in a smartphone. Number 5. Smartphone should not end up in the landfill because it will deteriorate the local ecosystem and potentially contaminate the groundwater. The conclusion for this video is, first, we are only contributing more to climate change and digging into our natural capital as opposed to living off the interest right now. Second, 66% of smartphone users are addicted to their phone according to a Trend Hunter study, and it's very dangerous to human psychological health. Smartphone companies should focus more on earlier stage of product life cycle, such as making the smartphone repairable and upgradable rather than need to buy the new one. Last one is, as a smartphone user, we should act with responsible on using our smartphone. Before changing new phone, consider in getting the second-hand phone or repairing the phone. If it was already at the end of life stage, make sure you dispose it properly.
Hello everyone.
Now we know that our smartphone also contribute to the environmental problem. Without further ado, let's continue to our second life cycle assessment video of Wet Wipes product by Misha Azurin.
Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to talk about wet wipes. Do you guys know wet wipes? Wet wipe, known as wet towels, disinfecting wipes, and moist toilets. In my video, I'm going to talk about, first, history and chronology of wet wipes. Second, types and usage of wet wipes. Third, life cycle of wet wipes. And fourth, benefits and tips of using wet wipes. We'll move to the first one, history of wet wipes. Wet wipe is a small pre-moistened pieces of paper or fabrics that often come folded and individually wrapped. American author Julius invented a wet wipe for daily use. A major brand for as Kimberly-Clark and Procter & Gamble are the first companies to invent their own wet wipes. Next, chronology of wet wipes. American Arthur Julius in 1957 worked at cosmetic industry and fixed a soap portioner machine. 1958 imprinted a new wet nap product. 1960 unveiled his intention at National Restaurant Show at Chicago. 1963 started selling wet nap products to Colonel Sanders KFC restaurant. 1990s large supermarket chains started to sell their own brand of wet wipes. Next, types of wet wipes. There are three main types of wet wipes nowadays. First, personal care wet wipes. Second, industrial cleaning wet wipes. And third, household and home cleaning wet wipes. We move for the what it is made for. Baby care, hand washing, removing makeup, applying other products such as sunscreen or deodorant, and feminine personal cleaning. We move on to the life cycle of wet wipes. There are 5 phases of life cycle. The first one, raw materials acquisitions. Second, product manufacturing. Third, distribution. Fourth, product use. And fifth, end of life. The first phase, raw materials acquisitions. The first one, cotton. Cotton came from cotton plants. The cotton processing starts with pick and grind the balls to separate the fibers from the seed to convert it to lint. The lint is pressed into bales and shipped to the spinning mills. The process called opening, cleaning, and cake formation. Cotton is then wet out and packed into large cakes. Second, wood pulp. The wood is break down from the bulk structure of stems into the fiber component. Wood pulp comes from both softwood trees, pine, spruce, and large and hardwood trees, aspen and birch. Third, viscose rayon. Viscose rayon is created when wood pulp in a sheet form is chemically converted into viscose solution, then through the wet spinning process is converted to solid 100% cellulose. Next, we move to the second phase, product manufacturing. The first one, cotton. Purification of cotton requires water, heat, hydrogen peroxide, and sodium hydroxide. The chemical acts as an oxidizing agent to remove fibers impurities and whiten the color. There are different finish solutions depending on application need. Second, wood pulp. Wood chips are turned into thick fiberboard that later on shipped to the paper mill for further processing. Wood chips are chemically cooked in the presence of sodium hydroxide under pressures to remove lignin. Third one, viscose rayon. The cellulose from wood is dipped in a sodium hydroxide to be swelled and converted to alkali cellulose. There is a reaction with carbon disulfide then dissolved when dipped in sodium hydroxide to make viscose spinning solutions. The third phase, distribution. First, the machine can produce up to 60 packs per minute or more wet wipes. Second, distribution of wet wipes done by trucks to delivered to factories for productions. Third, distribution of wet wipes done by the airplanes to transport all over around the world. We move to the fourth phase, product use. There is a very small percentage of material that came from the wet wipe will be recycled. This recycled percent can only come from non-woven fabrics. There is no reusing of wet wipes after being used. We move to the last phase, end of life. Wet wipes can cause contamination of water bodies and soil degradation. Massive waste of wet wipes in landfills. It persists in the environment even if breakdowns eventually. Wet wipes generate 7.6 billion pounds of garbage White wipes generates 2 million of plastic packaging per year, and white wipes third largest consumer item in landfill. It also clogging drains and sewer system. Next, we move to the benefits of using wet wipes. The first one, cleansing and moisturizing skins, especially for baby, hand, and body. Second, therapeutic purpose, killing germs on skins, treating acne and skin rashes. Third, convenience, quicker and easier to do cleaning. Fourth, disinfect, control and sanitize germs on surface. Next, we move to tips for consumer. The first one, use wipes only on unbroken and intact skin. Second, only for intended use as directions stated on the labels. Third, make sure to let the skin dry truly after using wipes. Fourth, keep the lid of the wipes closed from drying out. And fifth, discard used wipes immediately to prevent contaminations.
Now, we had gained more knowledge on our everyday use of wet wipes from the video, and only small percentage of wet wipes can be recycled. I hope all of you are still with us because we will continue with the next LCA video of Incandescent lamp by Muhammad Asfaruddin.
Hello everyone. How are you? I hope you guys are fine. Today we will discuss about life cycle assessment of incandescent lamp. In this video, we will talk about life cycle assessment meaning, incandescent lamp, part of incandescent lamp, life cycle of incandescent lamp and the environmental impact caused by incandescent lamp. Okay guys. Let's go to the first part on this video. Before we focus on the life cycle assessment of incandescent lamp, we need to know the meaning of life cycle assessment first. Based on Environmental Management 2017 stated that, life cycle assessment is a cradle-to-grave analysis technique to assess environmental impacts from the product's life. Next, we go to the incandescent lamp. What is incandescent lamp? Incandescent lamp is a lamp that emits light due to the glowing of heating material. How this lamp work? Basically, this lamp consists of a glass enclosure that contains a tungsten filament. When electric current passes through the filament, it will be heat to produce the light. Where our incandescent lamp will be used? This lamp can be used both indoors and outdoors purpose. Beside that, this lamp also can used for potable lighting, which is table lamps, car headlamps, photography purpose, and other purpose. Okay. Next is part of incandescent lamp. First, glass bulb. Function of glass bulb is to cover all the component inside the bulb. Second part is gas filling. Inside the glass bulb have space that full with gas such as mercury vapor and argon. Next is lead wires and stem. Cap or base also one of the bulb part. Function of cap is to connect incandescent lamp with the socket of light and that why. This cap like a screw shape that easy to fit into the socket. Next, exhaust tube, support wires and tungsten filament. The tungsten filament is the area where the light appears when it is heated. Five-stage life cycle of incandescent lamp, which is raw material acquisition, manufacture, distribution, use or consumption and end of life. We will go through one by one of this life cycle stage. Firstly, raw materials acquisition stage. In this stage we will identify the raw material used to produce incandescent lamp. The produce of filament by mixing tungsten and binder materials. For the lead-in wires, it made from nickel iron wire. This wire will dip into a borax solution to make the wire more adherent to glass. Next, the bulb itself is made of glass and contains a mixture of gases. Lastly, the base originally made of brass and insulated with plaster. But nowadays, aluminium is used on the outside and glass is used to be insulated the inside of the base. Next, manufacture stage. All the raw materials will be processed to produce incandescent lamp. Filament produced by mixing tungsten and binder and drawing the mixture to fine wire around a steel mandrel, in order to mold it into proper coiled shape and heated. This process known as annealing process. For lead-in wires, the coiled filament will attach to the lead-in wires. In produce the glass bulb, the ribbon machine will be used. For the base of the bulb, it is be constructed using molds and made in the shape of screw. Lastly, assemble all the part and packages for shipping to customers. In the distribution stage, it will covers the transportation of the lamp's products from its point of production to the installation and use of product. In this stage, we will identify the types of vehicles and the amount of fossil fuels used. After that, use or consumption stage. In this stage, we will look on the usage of electricity for incandescent lamps and try to compare between household and commercial use. Lastly, in life cycle stage is end of life stage. In this stage, we want to look how people manage this product at the end of this product life, which is people will recycle or disposal it. Based on the assessment from the raw materials acquisition until the end of life of incandescent lamp, we can say that all the stage in the produce incandescent lamp affected our environment. Firstly, hazard waste and solid waste problem can occur during manufacture phase, use or consumption phase and end of life phase. In manufacture phase, without proper management of waste from product processes, this two problem will be faced, especially for hazardous waste problem. It's because in an incandescent lamp have material made from iron and gas that can harm our environment and health. In consumption or use phase, this problem will occur if human like to throw the package of product at any place. For end of life phase, this problem occur because less of disposal site at that area. Air pollution also one of the environmental impacts caused by incandescent lamp. This problem occurs during raw materials acquisition phase because the process to take the metals from earth, and this process also will make all the dust going up into atmosphere. Besides that, during manufacture and distribution phase also can cause air pollution issues. It's because during this two phase will release danger gas to atmosphere. For distribution phase, the vehicle will burn fossil fuel to move and release carbon monoxide to atmosphere. Thus, this two phase cause air quality become low. Lastly, the environmental impacts caused by incandescent lamp is global warming. Manufacture, distribution and use or consumption phase can affected this problem because all this three phase will make our earth warm by release some greenhouse gas to atmosphere. This gases will make our ozone layer become thin, and it also can block heat wave from earth go out from earth. Before end this video, I have two questions for you guys. First, did you guys think incandescent lamp is the best choice to save our environment? For the second question, what is other environmental impacts caused by incandescent lamp? You guys can make some research to get the answers. Okay guys. Thank you for your time. See you again.
Even though our incandescent lamps are widely used in household and industry, we cannot deny that our small lamp can contribute to the environmental issues. We will now move to the video made by Suhaila on the LCA of a t-shirt.
Hello, welcome to Life Cycle Assessment of T-shirt. Let's take a look into the contents before we go further to video. In this video, we will take a look on the introduction including the type of shirt and what is the t-shirt. Then, move to life cycle of t-shirt that consists of 5 main phases, which are farming and harvesting, manufacturing, shipping, warehouse and retail, and disposal versus 3R. The last one is the conclusion. First of all, there are many kinds of shirts between men and women. But for each shirt or any clothes AE representing their mood and for different occasion, how and when they are wearing those clothes depend on the situation and needed. Let's focus on the t-shirt. Basically our main topic in this video. What is t-shirt? T-shirt is non-collar clothing, short sleeves and suitable for both of men and women. It is called t-shirt because of its body shape and the sleeves which resembles to the letter T. T-shirt was made of cotton or polystyrene fiber which is suitable in hot. In 1898 until 1918, U.S. Navy distributed the t-shirt as undergarments when wearing a uniform. 1950s, printed t-shirt were introduced, and most of veterans are wearing those outerwear, pair with slacks or jeans. While in 1960s, the t-shirt gained popularity and demand for advertisement, souvenirs or self-expression with the elaboration of words, images and logos. Today, t-shirts are available in various designs, colors, and styles.
Next, let's move on to the life cycle of t-shirt, which started from the raw materials until recovery and recycling process. In this cycles, we gonna focus on 5 phases of cycle, including the raw materials, manufacturing, storage, retail, consumer, and disposal and recycling. First, raw materials start from farming and harvesting. Cotton cultivation needs frost-free period with moderate rain and adequate sunlight to survive. Cotton also require a great deal of irrigation practices to produce better quality of cotton. But, cotton irresistible to pest, so bringing in a crop required heavy use of pesticides. Then, for harvesting, the cotton crop using a different type of machine including picker and stripper, the named for they weigh their pluck the cotton from the stalk. The seed cotton then stacked and formed into brick, called modules before transfer to gin. The gin cleans, and remove the seed from cotton fiber, leave a pile of waste and the raw materials travel around the world to popular textile production. From the farming activity, it left the impact to environment. For example, the usage of pesticides and fertilizer are contributing to water pollution, and soil pollution, which is the loss of nutrients. Next, the transportation that used to pluck and carry the cotton, to manufacturing process lead to air pollution and road damages including before, during and after. Second phase is manufacturing, where the cotton is run through the carding machine to clean and line them up into 2 to 3 soft rope called slivers. The slivers are then loaded up into the spinning frame, which rotates the fiber at high speed and twisting into cotton yarn. Then, the yarn is fed into the loom to weave the cotton yarn into the sheets of clothes, known as gray goods. Lastly, the weave cotton will distributed to garment manufacturing facilities to bleaches, dyed, or otherwise. Next, The impact of manufacturing phases to environment are water pollution, unpleasant smell, excessive usage of chemicals. The third phase is pre-finished product until shipping. The process started with the final round of cleaning included singing, resizing, scouring and bleaching. Singing and resizing are the process of heat and were added acid to make the cloth smooth and be more manageable size, while the scouring and bleaching are the process of cleaned up to remove seed fragments or plant wax, also remove the color to turn into white as possible. Continue on third phase is finishing. There are numbers of mechanical and chemical techniques are applied to the desired texture and properties out of the cloth, including raising, calendering, chemical finished and sandpaperize. Raising is a machine with thousands of tiny, sharp teeth to pluck surface fibers, adding fuzziness and warmth to the final product. Then, calendering is machinery uses heated roller to produce that desired textural effects. Chemical finishing is treatment that added chemicals such as wrinkle-resistant, flame-retardant, and antimicrobial properties to the cloth. Last is sandpaperization, the industry term for pre-shrinking cotton, ensuring that garments won't come out half. Next, the fourth phase is transportation to warehouse and retail. Before sending to retail and store, the cloth was sent to garment manufacturing, where the clothing company determine what sizes, colors, cuts will be demanded in futures. Workers cut the finished cloth into the required shapes and designs, and send the cut cloth to next set of workers to sew the garments. As the garments are completed, they were collected and sent back for another round of finishing, cleaning, and pressing before being packaged and stored for shipment to distribute to warehouse. Last but not least, fifth phase is disposal versus recycling. Disposal involved carbon emissions and caused pollution, but it also a stage where some control as well. A disposal t-shirt will be either incineration or end up into the landfill. Improper disposal of t-shirt, build home for pests such as rat and cockroaches also cause unpleasant smell. Besides, incineration also cause air pollution. For recycle, the old t-shirt can be produced as shopping bags, braided basket, and so on. Recycled old clothes can. Last slide is conclusion. The fashion industry faced many challenges due to various factors including the competition, increased production cost, less efficiency and labor attribution. From each phases of life cycle assessment of t-shirt, they potentially risk an impact to the environment. So, the action should be taken seriously by all responsibility to control the issues including ourselves. What we can do: buy country-made clothing. A lot of cotton is grown but, it's often exported to become clothing then imported as a final product. Keeping the whole process in one country significantly reduces transportation-related carbon emissions.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind all participants to stay until the end of this conference to claim your certificate for attending this conference by answering a survey form. The link will be given in the chat box from time to time. Before we continue with our next life cycle assessment videos, let's have a short break for 5 minutes. We'll start back at 12 p.m. Meanwhile, let's enjoy some videos prepared by the organizer.
Audio Jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us. We will continue with a video of life cycle assessment for motorcycle helmets by Muhammad Azib Hazim.
Hello everyone. Hello. Where is everyone? What is this? Life cycle assessment of motorcycle helmets? What is that? There is a small video. Let's enjoy it. Oh, I think everyone doesn't want to be like that. So you should wear your motorcycle helmets and it will prevent or reduce your fatality rate. So, okay, let's be back to our life cycle assessment of motorcycle helmets. My name is Azim. Nice to meet you. This is me in real life. Okay, back to our topic. Motorcycle helmet means a protective covering for the head, consisting of a hard outer shell padding adjacent to and inside the outer shell, and a chin strap type detention system with a certificate sticker indicating that the motorcycle helmet meets standard and passed the test. So, below is the example of certificate sticker standard. The first one is DOT. This is a certificate sticker by United States. And the next one is SIRIM. This is from Malaysia. This is also for the motorcycle helmet. Okay. Next, for the acquisition of raw material. The first one, motorcycle helmets are entirely comprised of secondary raw materials. The inner shell use expanded polystyrene EPS form. The first one in the figure is EPS bands. Second, it will become a EPS liner, and then it will become a EPS layer. Outer shell have 4 types, which is thermoplastic that usually use fiberglass and carbon fiber, and lastly Kevlar. This is a thermoplastic, and this is a fiberglass cloth. Next one is the carbon fiber mat, and last one is the Kevlar cloth. All of these types is usually used for the outer shell of the helmet. The comfort padding is made of soft foam and a silky fabric liner. This example of the comfort padding in your helmet. The chin strap is made of tempered steel for the buckle and nylon for its strap. This is example of the chin strap in your helmet. Most of all of these materials are manufactured, distributed and supplied by China and India. For manufacturing and processing, there is 4 stages of this process. First, the outer shell is made by thermoplastic. The thermoplastic is smoked and cut into the design and size. Second, the inner form is molded and made using EPS. The EPS bed will be cooked until expand with the mold shape. Third, the inner form and outer shell are joined together. The shell also will be painted, decals, and shading. Lastly, the face shield, internal visor, comfort padding, and other parts also installed at this stage. Assembly process is a manual process by the workers. Transportation and distribution. The motorcycle helmets come from factory to the motorcycle shops. Customer can also order from the factory or buy from the shop. The helmets usually transported with lorry, or the helmet also transported by flight if it comes from the other countries. There are many countries produce branded helmets such as United States and Italy. This is an example of the United States helmet, which is brand belt, and beside it is helmet from Italy brand, which is KYT. Both of them are very popular in the market and are very good in quality. Use, reuse, and maintenance. The consumer will use the helmet for a long time period, about 3 to 5 years. After that, consumer is suggested to change their helmet for own safety. If your helmet liner or shell is cracked from scratch, you need to replace the helmets because you can't fix it. If the strap or buckle is break, you may replace it with a new one. If the padding is loose, you can glue it back or replace it with a new one if it uses Velcro. To use it, you can remove the padding and the inner form to make a plant pot, or you can also make as a bolt. This is an example of how the helmet becomes the plant pot. Recycle and waste management. If the helmet shell is made from the thermoplastic, the helmet can be recycled. You may check the helmet first before recycle it. EPS foam can be recycled, so you could send to local drop-off area that recycle and accept EPS foam. To dispose or recycle the helmets, each part must be reassembled first to dispose more easily. Usually, burning process is used to dispose the helmet. These are some references for life cycle assessment of motorcycle helmets. That's all for life cycle assessment of motorcycle helmet. Thank you to my lecturer for ENG 4102 Environmental Quality Management System, Dr. Amir Hamzah Sharaai. That's all from me. Thank you everyone. Love for you.
That was an entertaining and great video from Azib. We will now move to the next video LCA from Cassandra for instant noodle product.
Hi, I would like to introduce to you on a life cycle assessment of instant noodle. Before that, I would like to go for a short and simple introduction on instant noodle. Instant noodle was first invented in Japan by Nissin Foods Manufacturing. There are three types of instant noodles packaging, which are in a cup, bowl, and also individual packaging. Instant noodles contain high amount of sodium and monosodium glutamate, which is not good for our health. However, it contains low calories, but also low in fiber and protein. It is stated that about 106.4 billion servings of instant noodle eaten in 2019. And 290 million serving per day. Here are the first top 5 global demands on instant noodle. First, China, Hong Kong. Second, Indonesia. Third, India. Fourth, Japan. And the fifth is Vietnam. Malaysia is on number 14 in this list. Malaysian favorite noodles are curry and tom yum. From the top 3 per capita consumption, Korea was listed on the number 1, followed by Nepal and Vietnam. So, here is a tips for you to choose a healthy noodles. Choose noodle which is from whole grain and add some vegetables and protein sauces to your noodles. Now, let us move to the life cycle assessment of the instant noodle. The raw materials to produce instant noodle are oil, wheat, water, stabilizer, antioxidants and preservatives, and salt are the main ingredients of instant noodle. Extraction of raw materials cause much of the carbon emissions. Large area of forest been cleared for planting palm oil and wheat. It also causes threat to the endangered species like orangutan. So, this is how the instant noodle manufactured. It begins from mixing the flour into dough. The dough is then rest for a while to allow the crumbly mixture to rest for a period to accelerate further hydration of the flour particles and to redistribute water in the dough system. The dough is then sheeting and then proceed for cutting and waving the dough into square and round shapes. The noodle sheets are transferred to steaming and molding stages. This is where the noodle sheets been cut into one serving size before moving to the fryer or the dryer. After this process, the noodle seeds are then fried for 140 to 160 degrees Celsius for 60 to 120 seconds. During these processes, more electrical energy being used to power the specialized machines. When the fry process is done, the noodle is now ready to be packed in three different forms, which is individual, cup, and bowl. The instant noodles are now ready for distribution to the retailers and the consumer. At this stage, chemical energy is mainly used in form of burning gasoline for transportation purposes. The packaging of the instant noodle, which is styrofoam cups, is then disposed into the landfill and some being recycled for other purposes. It is estimated 25 billion of styrofoam waste being thrown away per year. That is the end of the instant noodle life.
Thank you for watching. For more information, do visit us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube regarding the life cycle assessment and environmental management.
Wow, I never know that almost 290 million servings of instant noodle are made per day. What a huge number. Even though the number are a bit shocking, we still need to move to our next LCA video made by Alicia for a product that mostly loved by people, cheese.
Can you guess what is the theme? Before empires and royals, before pottery and writings, before metal tools and weapons. The answer is cheese. Yes, cheese. But have you ever wondering how cheese is made and what impacts can be resulted from the process? Well, we're about to find out in life cycle assessment on cheese. Cheese making and eating believed to date back to 8,000 before centuries. The main ingredient for cheese making is milk, which obtained from cow, sheep, goat, or buffalo. Cheese offers health benefits as it is high in protein, calcium, phosphorus, and minerals. Common coagulants used in cheese making are acetic acid, gluconodata-lactone, and calcium chloride. There are many types of cheese. For example, fresh or no-rinse cheese, aged fresh, soft white rinse, semi-soft, hard, and blue cheese. Now, we are into life cycle of cheese. The first stage is raw material acquisition, which mostly occur in dairy farm. During feed production, dairy cows' diets must allow to fulfill the functions of lactation and output-producing annually. The diet must include sufficient water, energy, protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Maintaining rumen health, optimize cow comfort, successful dry periods, position feed additive to increase pig milk yields. During the raw milk production, milk will be obtained either by hand milking or vacuum system, which draws the milk from the receiving can through large diameter stainless steel piping. Once the milk has been collected, the milk truck arrives and pumps the milk from the tank for transport to a dairy factory. The second stage of the life cycle is manufacturing. The milk will received from the dairy farm and stored in the dairy factory. Milk filtration and standardization before cheese making is needed to optimize the protein to fat ratio to make a good quality cheese with a high yield. Next is the pasteurization process. It is important to reduce the number of spoilage organisms and improve the environment for the starter cultures to grow. During curdling and curd ripening, enzyme that acts on the milk proteins will be added to form the curd. The curd then will be not disturbed for almost 30 minutes until a firm coagulum forms. The curd is stretched and kneaded in hot water, developing stringy and fibrous body. The curd then cut and repeatedly piled up to push the moisture away. Curd firming is where the curd are placed in cheese hoops and pressed into blocks to form cheese. The cheese may be cut and packaged into blocks, bags, or any suitable packaging. The cheese will left in shelf for ripening, where it remains until distributed. The third stage is distribution. There are few elements that need to be considered at this stage. Proper shipping and care of cheese and dairy products must occur as the items move through the supply chain. The process associated with distribution are packaging, refrigeration, and transportation. Good knowledge of distribution protocol can help ensure quality products. Transportation concerns commonly involve keeping cheese at consistent cold temperatures to prevent spoilage. This can be achieved by shipping products with gel packs and specialized protective packaging. Quality control oversight can be handled by computer applications. For example, formulas, recipes, shelf life, expiration dates, and batch lots can be tracked by the system. Warehouse oversight can track the cheese via computer solutions. These applications are designed to monitor orders, inventory, manufacturing, financial data, and manage warehousing. Next is use of products. Cheese commonly used in cooking and delicacies all over the world. It contributes to economic growth in producer countries. The last stage of the cycle is product end-of-life stage. Most of the final products are derived from food packaging, wastewater, and food leftover. According to many sources of studies, cheese manufacturing and consumption cause significant environmental impacts. Life cycle assessment is conducted to evaluate the environmental impact associated with product, process, and activity during its life cycle. The environmental impacts resulted from cheese manufacturing and consumption are eutrophication, global warming, large energy consumption, ozone depletion, acidification, and photochemical ozone creation potentials. So, what can be done in order to overcome the environmental impacts resulted from cheese manufacturing and consumption? The environmental impacts can be reduced by using water cooling tower in pasteurization process in order to reduce water consumption. This equipment also contribute to efficiency and pasteurization process, resulting better product safety. The acquisition cost is relatively low along with easy setup and maintenance. Other than that, using liquid whey for dairy beverage production as whey have excellent nutritional source of protein and lactose. Improve cheese shelf life by addition of preservative using modified atmosphere packaging applying high pressure processing and active coatings. This way, packaging waste and food loss can be reduced. Reduce cheese consumption or choose low-fat cheese as an alternative. The low-fat cheeses include skim mozzarella, Gouda, and cottage cheese that have less effect on the environment. Last but not least, use biodegradable and recyclable packaging. Cheese is certainly one of life's great pleasures, but there is no doubt that cheese of any type has significant impact on the environment compared with other food products. So by all means enjoy your spread, but don't you think that it might be worth to scale back a bit on the size for the sake of the planet? That's all for this video. Do like, follow, and subscribe to our social media for more videos on life cycle assessment. Thanks for watching.
That is a very interesting video about cheese. Without further ado, we will continue with LCA video for a mattress by Abdullah Azam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi guys, my name Azam. So today I will talk about life cycle assessment of mattress. So let's go guys. Berliner Heinrich Westphal. It was invented by Berliner Heinrich Westphal in the early 1870s. The Innerspring mattress was the first modern mattress type and replaced those stuffed with hay, wool, down, and other materials. He used metal coils, originally designed for the seat of horse-drawn carriage, to make a new kind of mattress. Why we need mattress? A good mattress will gently support your whole body and keep the spine in a neutral position. Being comfortable while sleeping, and lastly, by sleeping without a mattress, you will strengthen tiny muscles that build over time. You are putting a pressure on your body parts, so it's not good for your body. Care and maintenance of the mattress. Make sure your mattress is properly supported. Wash bed liners regularly. Then use a mattress protector from the beginning. And lastly, no jumping on the bed. The first life cycle for the mattress is raw material acquisition. The steel wire is the most core of a mattress, which also called the inner spring unit, and is maybe the most important part of the mattress set. There are different types of foam. First, ribbon foam, then cotton foam, memory foam, poly foam, and latex. Once the completed inner spring unit is received, workers manually apply the insulator. Next, they apply the cushioning layers that will determine the feel and comfort of the final product. Meanwhile, the decorative cover that will serve as the exterior for the top, bottom, and side is made on giant quilting machine, which controls a multitude of needles that stitch the cover to a layer of backing material. Mattress begin on factory where it being developed from foam, steel, and other components to be a mattress. Then the mattress sent to the retailer shop to be sold for the people. Any kind of mattress will be available here. People can buy at the retailer shop. Cleaning facility receive, separates, and prepares recycled materials from unused mattress. So the steel factory, foam factory get the recycled materials. Then the waste goes to the company that the impact of mattress. The negative impact to the environment is there are around 20 million mattresses are thrown into landfills every year, and just one mattress can take up 40 cubic feet of space. Besides space, mattresses that make their way to landfills also present a host of other issues. So the conclusion is nowadays mattress is important. A good mattress is crucial in achieving good backup. If a mattress doesn't meet your personal preference, then the comfort is compromised, resulting in disrupt sleep that can leave you feeling very tired and sore in the morning. The last one is preference. So that's all for me. Thank you for watching.
That is a very informational video about mattress. Before we continue to our last LCA video, for all the participants, please fill in the form in the chat box that has been provided to get your e-certificate and free gifts. Thank you. So on to our last LCA video, which is Scented Candles by Ayu Nakibah.
Hello everyone. Hope you have an amazing day today. Today, I will talk about life cycle assessment of scented candles. What is candle? Candle is a cylinder or block of wax or tallow with a central wick which is lit to produce light as it burns. What is scented? Scented is having a pleasant scent. The history of scented candles started at 3000 BC, where the candles were made from a combination of animal fats and reeds which gives off a bad smell. Candles back then are mainly used as a source of light and during prayers. When the invention of the light bulb came, candles started to be viewed as decorative items, and the first scented candles are marketed to the public. Scented candles are divided into two types, which are fragrant chemicals and essential oils or plant extracts. There are few benefits of scented candles which help to fall asleep, give a soothing effect, and helps personalize your space. The life cycle of scented candles is divided into 5, which are raw material extraction, manufacturing process, distribution and transportation, product use, and end of life. Raw material extraction. The materials are made of paraffin wax, which comes from petroleum, braided cotton, glass holder, which comes from sand, and lastly is essential oils or synthetic aroma. Manufacturing process. The paraffin wax is heated until melted with wax melter. Then, the fragrance oil is thoroughly mixed with the melted wax. Then, the combined wax cooled for 24 hours by pouring in a glass jar. Distribution and transportation. Candles must remain cool at most times, as it can easily melt, which is why it is preferable to use an air-conditioned moving truck. If the marketplace is close by, ground transport is used. If the marketplace is far, air transport is used. Product use. The scented candles can be used anytime by users by just lighting up their wick and just let it burn. The candles can also be used many times until the wax is finished. Lastly is the end of life. The residues of the scented candles is incinerated, and the candle glass holder is recycled. Next in this topic is the environmental impact of scented candles. Scented candles' impact mainly consists of indoor air pollution. The burning of scented candles in the indoor environment can release a large number of toxic and cancer-causing chemicals, where the main pollutants detected are BTEX, aldehydes, and PAH. Some of the candles' cotton wicks are also wrapped around metal materials that produce toxic soot and can lead to a lung problem. In conclusion, scented candles are not good for the environment, so there are few recommendations that can be done to overcome the pollution from scented candles. First, replace paraffin wax with more natural wax. This can be done by using soy wax or beeswax, where it produces less soot than traditional wax, even estimated up to only 1/10 of paraffin wax soot. Other than that would be by using shorter wicks with missing core. This can avoid producing large amounts of soot and pollution. Last but not least is limit the burning time to reduce the amount of chemicals sent into the air by the candles. Please like and subscribe to our social media.
With the final video on LCA just now, we can summarize that LCA is important as we might have a goods or services that able to reduce cost, energy consumption, or emission in one area of its use, but overall the impacts are larger. Last but not least, LCA provide us better understanding on the true impacts of any given goods or services.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, I would like to promote our channel for life cycle thinking and environmental management on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. It contains many useful information and educational videos, including our conference videos. You're welcome to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all of you for your attention in this conference. We hope you are enjoying today's conference and gaining as many knowledge as possible on environmental communication and life cycle assessment of the products. Now, We are opening the Q&A session. Please feel free to share your talk or ask any questions. Is there any questions regarding the environmental communications or the life cycle assessment of the products that have been shown just now? So no questions? You can type your questions at the chat box if you feel really shy to speak on your mic.
If there is no other questions, we will end our conference here. Before dismissed, we will have a photography session. All participants are required to open their cameras, please.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Wait.
Dokter, saya besar-besar, dokter.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. And
Putihnya gigi, please.
Thank you to all participants for joining us today. We really appreciate your presence in today's conference. We provided the link for survey certificate in the chat box, and all you can answer the survey certificate. Lastly, stay safe and stay at home to prevent and flattening the COVID-19 curve. You are very welcome to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to fill in the form. Don't
Thank you,
forget, yeah, fill in
everyone.
the form.
Bye.
Good
Don't forget,
job. Bye-bye.
don't forget a free gift to.
Claim your free gift, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Hana terjeguk je.
Bye-bye.
Lepak lu. Rihanna makanan sikit.
Itulah makanan belum masak lagi. Nasi tomato.
Belum masak lagi, ya Allah. Nikah dah dah.
Mana Azam?